Hey, 9 days, what's up? It's the Culture Detective here investigating your favorite albums. And today I am sleep deprived, but I'm also kind of happy because last night I did the psychology course final exam and I got just enough marks to get an A in this course. So I'm a happy boy. Anyways, today I'm going to be doing the second last album review I'm going to be doing this year. Also, the second last album review I'm going to be ever doing in Hong Kong, probably. And that is going to be the latest Death's dynamic shroud.wmv album, Faith in Persona. So I learned about this album not too long ago. It's been hanging around in rateyourmusic.com for a while, but I never took the album that seriously because when I found out about this album on Rate Your Music, the number of ratings and reviews were rather low, so I thought it would just disappear from the charts like many other atmospheric black metal albums on that website. But it sticked, it stayed, and Fantano made a review on it, so I checked it out, and wow, wow, I freaking love this album. So much so that I didn't include this album in the mini albums review I did yesterday. Instead, I wanted to do a full individual review for this album. So, Death's Dynamic Shroud is a Vaporwave trio who has been pumping out albums and mixtapes since a long time ago, and they usually put out their mixtapes and their albums on platforms like YouTube instead of Spotify, sort of defying that whole streaming tradition. And another thing I'd like to say is that the album cover is freaking awesome. It is so cool. Whoa. But anyways, let's get into the album itself. It is amazing because essentially what happens is in this album is that the trio collects all kinds of musical textures and flavors and basically mix and mash them up, chop them up, twist them up, turn them into weird chipmunk noises, stack them, layer them, and turn them into these really weird and glitchy soundscapes. And it's very creative, it's innovative, it's experimental, and it's also really refreshing to the ears. It's a very poppy and groovy album, but simultaneously there's something kind of sinister and messed up about this album that makes it really cool. But anyways, the album starts off with Tear in Abyss, which is a very dramatic opener where the trio samples different songs, put them together. I'm sorry if I stutter or mistakenly mispronounce words. I'm very sleepy. I only slept for 3 hours today. But yeah, the bursting bright synths, the noisy distorted beats, they are amazing. The vocals, they are so distraught and they're so dramatic. And finally, we have this very intense build up, and it is overall a really stellar opening for the album. And the second track, See Me, samples Dua Lipa's Don't Start Now, except, of course, once again, her vocals are chopped up to a point where she's barely recognizable other than the timbre of her voice. There's something really glossy and euphoric about this track, which is really cool, but at the same time, it's not full on bliss. There's something kind of neon about this track. There's something kind of like nighttime about this track, which is really nice. It's really jagged, it's rough, it's got these sort of weird bursts of violins and these chopped up beats. Texture wise, it sounds amazing. It is candy to my ears. But even more of a candy to my ears is the next track, the title track, which is my favorite track off of the entire album. I love this song. The clunky percussion, the groove, the jazzy synths, and everything else, the really weird, unnatural, robotic vocals. It's so metallic. It's so sticky. It's so glitchy. And I also like how nocturnal and uncomfortable it sounds. And then it is the track Pop Chin, which is this 80s flavored, spacey, groovy track with Taylor Swift samples. It has a cutesy beat and chonky synths. Chonky, not chunky. Chonky. Listen to the track. you would know why. But yeah, it's not bad. And then that is followed with Someone in the Room, which is the most straightforward track on the album. It's a little one-dimensional, but I still love it nonetheless. It slaps. It's really hard-hitting. I love the club beat. I love the eerie vocals. Love it. And then finally, the album ends off on 3 more slow-paced tracks. We have Just to Be Needed, a slow burn, beautiful ballad with a very grand build-up, and the track Last Minutes of the Memory, which is a track with actual solid structure and some relatively intelligible vocals. But that being said, though, it is still very experimental. It's got the drippy keyboards, the tippity tappity percussion. It sounds amazing. It sounds sparkly and glittery. And finally, the album ends off on R.I.P., which is this ambient-ish closer with a very intriguing interlude and very interesting soundscapes. Olivia Rodrigo sample. What? Yeah, it works. If it works, it works. And that's basically this album in a nutshell. It is poppy, it is groovy, it is sinister, it is weird, it is nocturnal, it is infectious, it is metallic, it is futuristic, and I love it. So yeah, favorite track here is title track, and my least favorite probably Pop Chen. I'm giving Death's Dynamic Shrouds, Faith in Persona, a strong 8 out of 10. So if you listened to this album from 1 to 10, how much did you rate it? Like it and subscribe if you want more, and thanks for watching. Damn, I'm so tired. Leave me alone.